Thank you, first of all, for the opportunity to be here on this platform, to be able to tap into the knowledge that you have always been sharing regarding land issues in Liberia. So my name is Joseph Kelly. I work for the Liberia Land Authority. I provide technical support, administrative support, and financial support in the Office of the Executive Director. I serve in my capacity as technical assistant in the Office of the Executive Director of the Liberia Land Authority.
Oh, okay, that's good. Um, it's good to have you today, Joe. I always provide some conditions from the LA, from other places. So if you're on the show, just have to look at
Things.
I believe that information dissemination, what people need to know, what they need to be educated or on, it's important that they share their knowledge and they share whatever they have in store. So um, being in the studio today is not strange. It's something we normally do. So I just hope that you understand that, and it will not mean that Joe is here to be hit with all of the hard questions. No, Joe, I just want to you were fortunate to be part of a team on a 1 year program, the RTP program, and that program recently a team was sent. I mean, the program ended, but the 1 year program, how was it? How was it? I mean, what's the program all about?
Thank you so much, Emmanuel. This particular program is called the ITPLZ. The ITPLZ stands for International Training Program,
Okay.
Liberia, Zimbabwe. Meaning there are two countries that are participating in this particular program, Zimbabwe and Liberia, and it runs for a period of 1 year.
Okay.
It started in November last year,
Last year.
and then it's going to end November this year.
Oh, okay.
So the ITPL program is about applied land governance, some training opportunities for the people of Liberia and Zimbabwe,
That's good.
how to be able to improve land governance and land administration in the two countries. So fortunately, we were blessed by God to be able to participate in this project. From the beginning of the project, we had to go to the Swedish phase,
Okay.
and the Swedish phase lasted for like 3 weeks. We were in Sweden undergoing different kinds of trainings, and we are now back to Liberia.
Okay.
And then as time goes by, there will be an African phase, but then that will be determined later. And that African phase will have the same number of participants from the two countries.
So was the training all about capacity up to some of the advanced way of doing land business, in our country? Because you talked about land governance training. It has to do with GIS. It has to do with different aspects of the land sector. So was the training in different areas? You had different people in different departments from
Definitely.
who were part of that.
Definitely. Emmanuel, look, from the Liberia Land Authority, we were like 5 persons that were accepted for the program. But in total, we had 16 persons who went to Sweden for the program
Liberia.
from Liberia. So we had people from local government, we had people from civil society,
Basically focus on
and then we have 5 persons from the Liberia Land Authority. So we went and participated in a particular training program. The training program took into consideration land information system, data management, waste management, human rights, participation, the rule of law. It was a holistic process, communication, stakeholder engagement,
Okay.
and so many other stuff. But I tell you one thing, this particular program was very educative. And I think we learned a whole lot that we're able to bring back to the Liberia Land Authority
So who were
so that we can be able to improve upon applied land governance in our country. Because Emmanuel, land governance is a major challenge in our country. And no country can progress without proper land administration system. And that's why you see in economics, the first factor of production has to do with land. So if you have efficient land management system in place, it helps to make sure that the country is peaceful, it secures ownership to land, title, and so many other good things, so many other benefits that
Well,
follow.
I think that we are driving to land reform, so I think we're making some mark. I mean, as a country, I'm not.
Oh,
not just in
definitely.
LA, but as a country, are we making some
Definitely.
steps? I realized that Germany took some 200 years to be where they are, and Sweden, where you came from, took some 400 years to be where they are. Liberia Land Rights Act was passed in 2018, some 6, 7 years ago. Do you think we're doing something good at least?
Emmanuel, if you ask me for the overall, I would say yes.
Yes,
Liberia is making some progress because the two countries you talk about, I want to be specific about Sweden because that's where we went and took our training. Sweden land administration process started from the 16th century. And so they have a very long history of land information system, which is very cardinal. So you see, the people started to put their pieces of documents together regarding every parcel of land from the 16th century. But yet, all of those things were just hard copies. It was in the 70s when we started to invent computers and some other stuff before they started to digitize the system. And so Liberia definitely is making progress because, as you are aware, the Liberia Land Authority was just created in 2018. And so definitely from 2016, the Land Rights Act, yes. Yeah. But if you look at from 2016 up to present, it's a very short time. So you cannot achieve all that Sweden has achieved over 400 years. Definitely, we are making progress. And as we approach, and we all of these trainings coming on board for the staff of the Liberia Land Authority, for other stakeholders that are involved into the land sector, definitely I can assure you that we are making the progress. We are making progress, and in due course, we will be where Liberia is supposed to be.
So I also learned that the training was tied to the Department of Land Administration and some other technicians. You care to mention the names of those who represented the different departments?
Yes,
technical people who now receive enhanced knowledge in different areas.
Okay, our particular training program, we had 5 persons that benefited from the Liberia Land Authority. I also benefited. As the first person, I come from the office of the executive director, where I provide technical support. So Joseph Kelly, yes, benefited from the project. Second, Emmanuel C. Davis also benefited. Emmanuel Davis works with the Liberia Land Authority in the Office of Communication and Outreach. He's the Communication and Outreach Officer. He benefited from the project. We also have 3 other surveyors who benefited from the project. We have Abigail Pelewon. She's a surveyor. She's a lady. We have Marie Constance. She's a surveyor. She's a lady. And we have MacArthur Zebian, who is a surveyor, and he's a man. So you see, the dynamics is changing. Years back, when they say surveyor, you're looking for one old papi coming to come and survey your land. But this time, things are changing. We have females getting on board, and these are some of the reforms in the land sector. And because definitely we are following Sweden. What I learned there when I got there, I don't know whether it was a coincidence or not, but most of the surveyors that I interacted with were ladies. And it was not a surprise that the leadership of the Liberia Land Authority and the leadership of the ITPLZ program chose 2 ladies from Liberia, specifically from the survey unit, to be able to participate in that particular process.
When I was in Sweden in 2022, I was fortunate to travel to a city called Natalia, and I was able to see how the registry in that particular city, the land registry in that particular city, were able to settle different documents. Were you fortunate to have seen that, and what did you pick from there?
Look, Emmanuel, the people's system is magnificent. Every parcel of land in Sweden is registered. Unlike Liberia, I don't know the current statistics with registered land and unregistered land, but if you ask me to assume, I would say maybe around 70% of the land in Liberia is unregistered. So you see, that's one of the major reasons for which we have land conflict in our country. I work for the Liberia Land Authority, and most of the time when you go there, especially the dispute section, you see people throwing blows. You see people arguing, oh, this man took my land, and this man took my land, this person took my land. The issue about land conflict is very rare in Sweden. That's what I saw.
Yeah, because I think what they have is that they have a system that was built 400 years ago.
Yes.
That system is working for them because they spend so much money, billions of dollars, to make sure that the system works. I understand that you said that, though we cannot be as Sweden is, but there is a possibility that we can get there.
Yes.
Land reform is not an event.
No.
It's a process. And that is the process Liberia is currently, the path Liberia is on. What I want to find out from you, I understand all of what you are saying. You saw all of the beautiful things. You saw how the land registry is set up. Though, it is good to see all of that. But what one thing that you pick from that moment when you enter the registry center at Natalia?
Look, Emmanuel, there's total coordination in the people country.
Okay, coordination.
Coordination. Look, you see the various land sectors in Sweden, they are coordinating very well. You see, Liberia, we have not a synchronized institution like Liberia Land Authority that takes over all of the responsibility. You still have the National Archive taking over some responsibility. You still have the court playing their part, and then you have Liberia Land Authority playing their part. But you see, in Sweden, the land-related issues are handled squarely by Land Mattrs. That is the Swedish Cadastral and Land Registration Authority. They have that sole responsibility of ensuring that land issues are discussed and resolved only by that particular institution. Yes, at some point in time, there was a time where we went to the municipality office in Yavle. Yes, there are some services that they provide, especially when it comes to GIS and what have you. When it comes to land information system, it is mainly handled by Land Mattrs. And I think we need to get to a point in Liberia where the Liberia Land Authority will have the sole responsibility to be able to handle land-related issues. And once that is done, we can now get on the perfect footing to be able to help to resolve land-related conflict in our country.
That is the voice of Mr. Joseph Kelly. Joseph Kelly works within the office of the executive director, and today he's with us on this show, The Land Matters. We are always here making sure that you are informed, educated, and sensitized of your rules, your rights, and your responsibility as Liberian and as whoever person you are, a foreigner or alien within our borders. We make sure you understand exactly how our land rights law works and what are those things that you are not to do and what are those things you need to do. Joe, one thing I want to find out from you, you had different people from different countries, but I want to focus on the Zimbabweans.
Mhm.
I understood that Zimbabwe is praying that they should have the land rights law that we have. Because in that country, women rights to land is strange. Do you think? How do you see the both countries? Because I know that you had a presentation that focused directly on a little view of the Zimbabwean side, a little view of the Liberian side, and many Zimbabweans was of the view that the land rights law that they read from Liberia in their country, they see that as one of the best laws in Africa. For the fact that they give right to reading.
Yes, Emmanuel, definitely. All of the conversations that we had with the Zimbabweans, that was one of the major concerns that they raised. I mean, they heard so much about the land rights law. They had the opportunity to read it through one of our staff who gave them a copy. And definitely, I will tell you that women access to land ownership is very cardinal. This is a debate that is not just for Liberia. This is a debate that should cut across the entire African continent. Definitely, I will be one person that will advocate for women to have rights to land ownership. Definitely, in a family of maybe 5, and then you have a male child and you have 4 female children. Mostly, because of our traditional setting, at the end of the day, you see the father, the mother sitting and only thinking about what they can leave as a heritage for their son. And most of the time they believe that the ladies will get married and at the end of the day they will go out and they can be able to settle. But you see, we also need to understand that not all women will get married. Not all women will go into another home to meet up with prosperity and what have you. Sometimes a lady has to take her share of the wealth to the home. So you see, that's why women access to land ownership is very important. And I'm so excited when our colleagues from Zimbabwe decided that when they get home, they were going to start raising this particular debate. And then, I mean, once they started to raise that debate, gradually, as time goes by, it will start to spread across Africa. And we'll start to have our mothers, we'll start to have our sisters, our aunties having access to land ownership, that they can determine what they can do with their land. Because you see, land ownership is not just about having the document. No, the women want to have a land that they can make their farm. The women want to have a land that they can lease. They want to have a land registered in their own names so that they can be able to go to the bank, present collateral, take a loan, invest in their businesses, expand their businesses, be able to give their children quality education, because they don't just want to be dependent. They don't just want to sit and allow the father to take all of the responsibilities. They want to have a fair share in the upbringing of their children. So yes, women access to land ownership is a major debate, and I will support it any day at any time.
If you are a woman out there and you understand what we are talking about, you should be clapping, because Liberia land rights law paved the way for women in Liberia. Precisely, particularly we focus on rural communities. In time past, Liberians were considered users of the land. We never had the right to own land. People live in rural communities, were deprived. Companies come, they don't really go to the community because they believe that going to the community is of no use. So the concessions and those who bring those businesses and concessions to Liberia only discuss with the government. And at the end of the day, you'll find you wake up in the morning and you see that tractors or caterpillars are all in the forest, and nobody there to talk to. If you go to the one who get the company, he tell you go to central government. And you can fight the president.
You can.
So people used to watch and see these things, happen just like that. Today, the passage of the Land Rights Act says that there's something called FA, the Free Prior Informed Consent, where the community, government, their lawyers, government itself and the concession will sit on the table to discuss whether the community have interest. Joe, I almost shed tears when I listened to a Kenyan lady who told me, Emmanuel, I was married. I did not long for my husband till he passed. And today, as I speak to you, every property that he earned, that we worked for, was taken away by his family.
Wow.
Because in my country, there's something that women are not talked about. And in your country, women can sit on the table to discuss land business. I was like, yes. Women can even become part of the CLDMC. Women they can serve as chairperson for land management committee in my country. Do we have anything to see at DMC, customary land development management committee? Did you hear anything about that? When you went, did you hear anything about that?
No, because their system is a bit different from ours. Here we have a customary land. They don't have customary land on that side. Not to my knowledge. I stand to be corrected.
But I learned that 65% of those who work in government are
Yes. And Emmanuel, that's one important thing I really wanted to talk about. You see, look, let me tell you something. Everywhere you went, all of the offices I visited, you had women dominating. In all of the careers, from technical areas, from the sciences, from education, even the waste management we're talking about. When I went there, I saw ladies driving the truck. I saw ladies into leadership. And I mean, when I asked this guy, there was this guy, one Henry Grew, that we met.
Okay.
That was during one of the presentations at the municipality in Yavle, and he said I don't know. He said about 65 to 75% of the workforce in Sweden are females. And you're talking about, if we stick to 75, then we're talking about 25 going to the males. Unlike here, where ladies are crying for opportunities and they cannot have it. They are crying for special privileges, yet they still cannot have access to these opportunities. So I started to ask myself, then why are the men sitting and allow the ladies to be working? And this particular, when I asked this question, they said it comes from one orientation. That is, the Swedish ladies have something very important to them, and that is independence. That is independence. They like to be independent. They like to provide 50 and you provide 50. They don't like to be abused. They don't like to be taken advantage of. But unlike in our country, it is totally opposite.
It's a different thing. I think because of where we came from, our different orientation,
Yeah.
Our different path, where we came from, and as a country, how we, driving. Today, there are a lot of, though not really the percentage not high as it is in Sweden, but in Liberia, we can see some little step being taken. Women are now taking leadership.
Oh, yes.
Playing different roles in different organizations, including government.
Yeah.
Which is a plus for Liberia. We just hope that this can increase, the more, not just limited to a few group of people, but this can increase the more.
Absolutely,
I
absolutely.
also ask you, at the municipality, what did you see? Did they show you something that they do that we don't do, or maybe we do it in Liberia, but we don't do it as the way they do theirs?
Emmanuel, when we got to the municipality, it was that early morning. I don't remember the day, but the first thing, they took us into the court, and then we had to see the performance of the drone. Okay. These people are not just people that we use tape rule to get information. No. These people always try their hardest to use the best technology to be able to acquire information. And that's why their information is very reliable. So they took us and they went through a process where we had to see how the drone is used to get to, in the data collection process. We were able to discuss the GIS, how they manage the GIS system, and how they develop other solutions that are able to help their system. But you see, these systems are very important because, as I said from the very beginning, coordination, the institutions there are coordinating. That's why you see, if one institution will gather information, and maybe 15 to 20 other institutions don't need to gather that same information. That one institution has the information kept, and then they can be able to share that. Either sometimes it is free, or sometimes at a very minimal cost. So you see, now, when that information is gathered using the drone and other technological approaches, the information is used by the fire service in that same country. The information is used for disaster management. The information is used for building new schools, for building new roads, for building hospitals, for regional and urban planning purposes and what have you. So there are so many uses. So when I asked the lady, I said, look, all of this information that you gather, is it that the other people have to get this information? She said, no, we just need the municipality to get that information. And once we get it, we definitely share that information, because the reason why they share, because it's also possible the other institutions may have information that they also need. So in some cases, money does not exchange hands. In some cases, they exchange data. Maybe you need this particular data from me, I give to you. I also need a particular data from you, you give that to me. So that's the kind of coordination that we see existing in the West, especially in Sweden. And I think this is something that is worth emulating. We need to be able to adapt that culture in Liberia, where various ministries agencies, authorities can be able to interrelate, and then we can be able to compare notes, we can be able to coordinate things, and definitely once we have that sense of coordination, definitely we are going to rise up to the occasion. And that's why when you look at the SDG number 17, the Sustainable Development Goal, it talks about partnership.
Yeah, partnership.
And that's one thing I already saw in Sweden. And that's something that we need to take serious in Liberia. We need to bring about partnership. We need to work with all of the institutions that are involved. And once we have a centralized information system, definitely we can all have access to information.
You listen to the program Learn Matters. Always here every Wednesday. Today, I'm not really, in my usual self where I will have to go in depth into discussing some relevant clauses within the Land Rush Act, the Act Against the Criminal Conveyance of Land, different policy guidelines and regulations developed at the LA. I just want to have a little discussion with my brother who had the opportunity to be part of a training, a 1-year training that provided so many technical knowledge. I was also part of that training for 2023. I was also part of the training, and I also learned about stakeholder engagement and advanced skills in land sector communication that give me different ways of engaging people, talking to the communities, know how to set up, know how to gather information from people. There were so many things that happened. But before we go back to Joe, I'm getting texts from my people in the diaspora. It's always important for me to talk to them. So I will pause you a little bit, Joe, and just I want to throw a light on something that I have a wider audience in the diaspora, and I always try to make sure that I educate them not to do the wrong thing. So, like I said last week, Wednesday, it is important that you understand that land business is not in secret. You don't do land business in secret. Land transactions are not done in secret. You don't say because I know Emmanuel and Emmanuel is my brother, or maybe I came to you and I told you in your face that, Joe, my name is Emmanuel. You know me very well. I'm your brother. So, Joe, you have to just give me that 1,005 and let me show you where I have the property. And Joe gave me his 1,500. Lo and behold, I don't even have a property anywhere. But because Joe has this extra confidence in me, so he entrusts me so much that trust he believed cannot be broken. So immediately Emmanuel saying Emmanuel and Emmanuel telling him that, look, I have this land, you just need to bring the money. You don't think anything wrong with that. But there are people in this country who people have the same kind of level of trust in. They give them money, you take the person money and you don't have property. Some of them will take you to people's property and tell you that you see that cornerstone there, you see that one here, you see that one at Passy. My other old man from somewhere, Douala, called me and said, my son, somebody carried me somewhere, he won't carry me. I'm paying money here. I said, very good, don't pay your money to him. When he went there, the old man called me, the old man said, my son, I said, yeah, mama. He said, you won't get tough for all. They've been showing me a hair, show me a hair, but I see so many cornerstones. You think they play for him? I said, mama, if the man show you a hair, and he can't reach to the place, the place is not for him. And then immediately she told him that I want you to talk to my son. They call him Emmanuel. He always telling us about the land business. I want you to talk to him. And like the guy also know that Emmanuel. So immediately she would try to give him the phone. He said, no. I know email. I'll call him later. Behold, he doesn't even have a number. I don't even know him from anywhere. But they don't want anyone who exactly know their deeds to interfere with doing that. And my old lady in Douala was saved. There are several others of you who are outside this country. You believe people so much that you send your hard-earned money. By the grace of God, we are going places, we see how people struggle to make money. You in America, it's not well. Not that because America, it means that you are okay. But you're working so hard to make something. And out of what you are working, you send some home so that you can get help. So that you can help your country. Maybe. And then only for you to send that money, and then that relative of yours, that, look, today the fabric of our country is broken apart because father is duping sons and daughters daughters and sons are duping their fathers. The mother is not too okay with the papa because every time the papa always taking some of the land and selling it. The uncle is not too sure that his wife is okay. The wife is not too sure whether the uncle is doing the right thing. Children are against each other because somebody is doing the wrong thing. And this is why we always say on the radio, before you buy or purchase a land, a piece of land, a parcel of land, do not just give your money. The last thing you should ever do is to give your money. Because when you give your money to whoever person, the moment you present the money to the person has full power over the money, and he starts to drain you.
Absolutely.
Push you, Joe. These things are happening. These things are happening. I didn't got a joke. A lady told me, a friend of mine, she said, Emmanuel, I said, yeah, she said, this joke I heard it somewhere, but I don't know. She said, it's like the other lady was asking the other lady. He said, oh, man, that relationship you are having, how is it now? How far is it? He said, oh, man, that relationship is building on government level. Anything that is built on government land is not for you. They said the relationship is normal.
Sure.
That is a weighted joke, but that joke is very important. There are 4 categories of land ownership in our country: customary, private, public, and government land. You are not to sell government land. You are not to build on government land. Government property is for government. It's managed by government. You are not to build on it. So when you are sending your money down to Liberia, somebody told you on the phone that he has land somewhere sitting there. You need to know the category of land ownership the person is talking about, because there are people who take people money and say they have land. Behold, that land is a government land.
Mm-hmm.
Behold, that land is a public land. They have no document to the land, but they convince people, get the people money. At the end of the day, you lose. I was talking to a lady in Canada 2 weeks ago, who is now calling on me every time to try to talk to the person, but the person is not even coming. I'm calling him, he's not coming. $3,700 United States dollars. What kind of land you buy for your sister in Canada that up to now she not even see picture of the site? Don't do it. Make sure and do the proper investigation. Ask the relevant question. So the first thing you do is to go to the community or call the land authority, visit the land authority office, and ask them, look, I want to buy this parcel of land, but I want you to do this investigation for me. You see that, Joe?
Yes.
So when the investigation is conducted, then you are able to identify who is the rightful owner of the property
Absolutely.
that you want to buy. So you don't just go and buy property because you want to buy it, but you must also do investigation, because it is your high-end money we are discussing here. It's not just about because, you have the money, you have the money, you have the money. No.
Well, you see, Manuel, most of these people allow themselves, to be victims because of the pressure that the would-be landowner provides on them. You see, sometimes they will tell you, say, look, my man, there are 3-4 persons behind me for this particular land. If you don't act fast, someone will buy the land. And yourself, without any due diligence, you just went and pay your money.
Yeah.
You see, before you buy land, just as you talk about, before you buy land, the first thing you do is ask the person, what type of land are we talking about? Maybe that person,
Is it a private
is
land?
it a private land?
Is it customary land?
Yes.
Is it government land?
Maybe this
Is it public land?
maybe this is a private land.
Mhm.
Maybe I went and bought this land
Mhm.
from the administrators, and then I decided to sell it at a later date to give you a transfer deed. You need to know these things. Maybe you are buying it from the administrator, and maybe the administrators are 5 or 7, and then you are only transacting with 1 or 2. So if you notice that you only transacting with one of the administrators instead of interacting with 5 or 7 of them, you pay the money to 1 or 2 persons. At the end of the day, the other
people say we know nothing about
we know nothing about the land. At the end of the day, you will not get it. So you need to do due diligence.
Anything
You need
is
to
that.
go out into the community, apart from just hearing information that these people, these landowners will give you. Go and ask other people in their absence. If Emmanuel is a land seller, he must have went and saw the land. Later on, at an unknown date to them, I should go into that very community Cross-check the information that I got from Emmanuel, who is the seller of the land. Ask other people, who is the owner of this land? They will say, okay, this land belongs to Emmanuel, David, and his brothers and sisters. Who are the brothers and sisters? They are Mary, Paul, James, and what have you. So when you establish all of these things, you know exactly who ought to engage.
Thank you, Joe. I mean, that's just it, Joe. That's just it. You just hit the hammer. Our old people say on the nail, right?
Yeah.
The head of the nail. That's just it. And before we, I will have to take calls. I mean, I know there are a lot of you who want to place in your calls. I really never wanted to take calls today, but I wanted to talk to my brother Joe. But you know, as I receive these, you know, WhatsApp messages and so forth, Emmanuel, please don't forget to at least alert us on what's unfolding in the sector. Tell us exactly what we need to do, because every day people in the diaspora call their friend and tell the other friend, just like that, and people are following the show. Somebody just posted online and said, what can you do to help the people? At the Land Authority, people will go to the telephone line. At the Land Authority, we don't tell you, look, don't do this. We advise you, please, this is the way to do it. This is the way to go. Your discussion, your transaction, as far as your private transaction is concerned, we cannot tell you, look, if you don't do it, we'll punish you. You know that thing?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't do it, we'll punish you. At the Land Authority, we know that you have your money and this person have their property, but there are things that we can tell you that, look, do it this way, and it will be just this way,
yes,
and you will be safe at the end of the day.
Yes.
So we say, well, ask the community questions, ask the seller for a copy of the registered deed. There are people who have copies of their registered deed.
Do research on it.
Come to the LRA, take that deed to the LRA, then they give you photocopy. Nobody who have a property owned by who is owning a property and want to sell that property will be, you know, jittering when he want to give photocopy of a deed. To somebody that you want to take their money.
Mm-hmm.
Take the deed, come to the LRA, do some search, investigate, so that you identify whether the person is the owner. The next thing we say you should do, ask the seller for a flag receipt. There are people in this country, Joe, they have several properties. They're depriving government from raising the relevant revenue. They don't pay taxes to government.
Yes, that's a major problem.
Let me tell you this information. Whenever you purchase a land or a property that the previous owner of the property was not paying tax to government, immediately that transaction is conducted and done and completed, or completed, you are liable to pay all of the taxes the previous owner failed to pay. That is the reason why, if you are not asking for flag receipt to know what the person is paying taxes to government, when you buy the property, you will pay all the taxes to government. The revenue authority is waiting to get, they'll come, look at that property and get it. So you ask for flag receipt. The flag receipt will then tell you whether the person can pay. If the person says they have not been paying taxes to government, you have to sit on the table and negotiate.
Yes, renegotiate the price.
Though I won't buy your land, but then when you're not paying taxes to government, I know I'll pay all the taxes to government, I'll let the property. So let's sit down and discuss. Maybe I pay 50%, you pay 50%, I pay 60, you pay 40, or I pay 80, you pay 20, or I pay you 500 for the land, say it's 1,000.
Yes.
Or maybe I pay you 1,000, say the land is 1,005. So you do it that way. And then when you are done, you take copies of the registered deed and tax receipt and contact a surveyor to survey. So you realize that.
And a registered land surveyor too.
A registered land surveyor. You realize that you have not even started surveying yet. You just come from finding out as to whether the property in question belongs to the person. You get it?
Yeah.
So you finish doing that other one there. Let me speak for my old man now. I got my old man into allow Joe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I want sometimes they can tell you, oh, I want something today, pa. You make it too stand up for us. So when you finish doing all that one, then you might tell them, say, Mama or Papa, they here now come go call my surveyor. My surveyor will come. If the family tell you, say, oh no, Mama, don't worry, Jeff, we get surveyor. Don't agree. Do not allow somebody who's selling land to you to provide a surveyor. If he has a surveyor, fine.
That is his estate surveyor.
The estate surveyor,
you can bring
your own surveyor.
Yes.
To monitor the process so that tomorrow, when the man putting that land, he's doing that GPS thing, you know what he's doing there. Your surveyor there, your surveyor can understand it. That's why, you know, I was so excited, you know, when I saw my actor being Joe, you know, when we went to Orebro on this, you know, this 2023 trip in Sweden. he was able to understand exactly all of the languages, this technical issue as far as survey is concerned.
Yeah.
Not on stakeholder and communication engagement, because that's a whole area that he doesn't have. But when it came to that area, he was able to know exactly how to go about those different instruments that those, the team from Oregon brought forth. He could use the instrument. He
Yeah.
could tell what is going on with the site. He could do exactly. That shows that indeed we are getting somewhere.
Of course.
We are getting somewhere. Look, we have young people who are doing so well. The Land Authority is a technical institution, yes, but we have a lot of young people who are getting different aspect knowledge in different areas. So the number to call, I know some of you want to ask this one question before we get our parting comments from Joe. Joe will have you here next week Wednesday.
No problem.
We'll have you next week Wednesday. I like what you were saying. There are things I want to find out. But I always listen to my audience. So I had to talk a little bit of what they want me to talk about. But the number to call is 0776 104 104 086 500 104. And if you are in the diaspora and you want to place your call, you can call plus data or country code plus 231 or 00231 886 500 104. We pick this caller. Good afternoon, your name and where you call us from. You call from Tupa Road? Oh, Old Road. My brother, your name and where you call it? Okay. Yeah, so you call from Oro. What's your name? Misha Kanga. Oh, Mr. Kanga, how are you? Okay, that's good. Okay.
Because my education is here, America. I don't know where, but I want to pass off. When the students is killing when they play the own team, put the numbers on the land, put the own team, that's what's taking me and throw me. So I didn't know, I think I'll go to land authority.
Okay, Mr. Kanga, you know what we do?
Show that I want to call. I cannot start the process.
Okay, Mr. Kanga, you know what we do? The line is jammed. You know what we do? I will announce a number after the show. That is my WhatsApp number. You send me a WhatsApp. We can talk from there, and I will tell you exactly what you need to do. Okay? Yes. Good afternoon. Your name and where you call us from?
My name is Hamilton T. Capper, calling from Boma Bridge.
Yes, we don't have time now. Hamilton, can you please just go to the point, please?
Yeah, I bought my land from one of my inquiry, but she profile of you.
Okay.
Yeah. But anytime going in there, they read my cornerstone. But I don't know where to come out to it, but my passport, but my television. And I put the land already with one consider.
Okay, you probated the deed. Have you registered the deed with the land authority since you purchased?
Yeah, I'm registered. Everything.
Okay, if your cornerstone is not there, then you have to go and ask the questions. Make sure they took your cornerstone off.
Yeah, they took my cornerstone.
Okay, I will announce a number. We'll talk on WhatsApp. Yeah. I will announce a number, and then we can talk on WhatsApp.
Okay. No, I get Facebook phone. I remember my number.
Okay, you can even call that number. You can call that particular number. We'll talk, and I will meet you. All right? Don't worry. So many people issue like that was resolved.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. We go to the line and take this other caller. Do we have there are so many. Yes, so you can see that, Joe. You can see that people have issues, and they really want those issues to be resolved. And that's one thing we do. Like I said today, I promised them a particular topic that we'll be doing today, but then I had to bring you in. But if we should take your parting comments, what would be the last 3 lines?
Emmanuel, first of all, I want to say a very big thank you to the Almighty God for this opportunity that we were able to go to Sweden to participate in this international training program. I also want to say a very big thank you to the donors, all of the partners that collaborated to ensure that this particular program was adequately funded. That has to do with CEDA, the Swedish International Development Agency, ALAM, Liberia Land Authority, and Land Mattrs. I'm so grateful to God for these people. Yes, they were able to provide the kind of skills that we need to be able to transform the land sector in Liberia. Definitely from the calls that we just received, you can tell that land is a major problem in our country. And so we need to be able to sit together as stakeholders. We need to be able to develop new strategies. How can we be able to solve all of these problems? And definitely, I can assure you that with a matter of time, Liberia Land Authority will be able to take over the mantle of authority and be able to lead the process to make sure that we have a very good land administration and management system in Liberia.
Okay, thank you so much, Joe. It was good also to have you here today, and I'm always, here 3 o'clock. I'm always here 3 p.m. Every Wednesday. And if you're listening to us, I think we'll take our last caller. We'll take just one more call. Today, my people in the diaspora, Canada, America, especially those in Australia who normally send the text messages, so forth. We just want to say thank you so much for following the show. I know, okay, my producer is saying that we should squeeze in the last caller. It's not easy, Joe.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, your name and where you call us from.
From the Oro, my name is Stewart.
Your name is?
Reverend Stewart.
Reverend Stewart.
I put the land and from.
Reverend?
Yeah?
If you could just walk away from your monitor, then it will save our ears, please.
Okay, sir. Yeah, I purchased the land, my dear brother.
Mm-hmm.
And up to this time, the man did to the same thing my brother just said what they did to me.
Okay.
They put surveyor for me, and they do the survey. But when I go on the land, my brother, they will consume everything, they will rule it up. And they've been touching me almost 4 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you just been going to them like that, going to them, no redress. You not even getting anything from them.
I can't get anything from them. When I go, I can't find them. All of them gone away.
Okay. So I will announce that the number is on WhatsApp. We'll talk from there, okay?
I will talk myself, I will do my best to find you.
Okay, you can find me. Don't worry.
All right.
Okay, thank you. So we're squeezing the last caller. We'll just squeeze the last one. The very last one. Good afternoon, your name and where you call us from. Hello? Okay, I think we missed that. We missed that one. So that for now, that is all for today. I'm sorry. Next week we will discuss what we talked about last week. We'll be looking at the number of new surveyors came on board now. We'll look at that, and then we'll see what are those things you need to do and what are those things you don't need to do. How you can get in contact with them, how you know their license number so that you don't make mistake. Somebody can lie to you, say this is Joseph Kelly surveyor, Joseph Kelly, and his license number is 700, only to know that other Joseph Kelly number is 304. Fake people everywhere. So we'll try to provide you the information. Well, I promise you that I'll give you my WhatsApp number. This WhatsApp number is strictly for business, but however, it's 0881 1364 92. You can call that number. You can WhatsApp me at any time. Just send a message. 0881 1364 92. I will be glad to talk to you, and then we can meet, and then we discuss. Until then, have a wonderful day.
Hey, Nancy, did you know that the Liberia Land Authority is now responsible for all land transactions, including survey, deregistration, title search, alternative land dispute settlement, and registration of other legal documents for land?
Tell me something, email, because I have been looking somewhere else.
Look no further, Nancy.
When your radio sounds better, it's got to be Freedom 87.9 FM.
They bring her to go see to the main store.
Oh, so the man wanted for you to go steal from the web post.
Yeah, he said I'm on John to go see to the main store to they get money to the store. They will go take it from there. I said, my man, I only buy for the same lecture.
Then how can the police catch you now?
The police before the man call me back. Now on the